Good morning, YouTubers. Today's going to be a little bit different. I do, as I've said several times, Uber and Instacart regularly. Because why? Because my retirement job only takes an hour to 3 hours a day. So I need something else to fill up my time. I'm not retired yet, and it's a great way to make extra money. And it's a great way to get some exercise. Stay busy, gives me something to do. I'd like to know what all you retired people do every day. I mean, I never have been able to sleep in, so I have all this energy. And I do YouTube because it's creative. It's a creative outlet. And I spend a lot of time alone, so it gives me people to talk to. So today we're going to run around town like I do every day. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I see, some of the things that I do. Let's just get started and see what happens. Okay? First, I'm going to, see, I have to be downtown at 7:30 this morning, so, to do my machines. And then I got like an hour before that, so I'm going to give a ride or deliver some coffee or do something like that. So here we go. Okay, guys, I just got done with my machines. Having a quick cup of coffee. And we'll be back on the road because my friend that I usually have coffee with, stand by the window, sun shining. My friend that I have coffee with every morning is in Arizona for his last trip of the year. So I don't really want to have coffee with the regulars. So I'm actually here alone. The manager went to get his haircut and I'm trapped inside. The liquor store manager, if you want to call him a manager, liquor store guy's next door. So if I wanted to leave, I could. But I just figured I'd have a cup of coffee, and I matched up my deposits and stuff. So I got to turn in my paperwork this morning. So I figured I would set the bar up for the bartender and have a quick cup of coffee, and away we go. Okay. We're on the road again. Got to go to the bank, go turn in our paperwork, and then we'll see if Instacart has anything going on. Because it is, what time? It's 8:15 in the morning, and I don't have anything else to do. So, you tell me, because it seems like, I have every day off. And what else would I do with my time? Some people say, well, you could get a real job or a regular job. The machines are so inconsistent that it would be near impossible. They're not regular set days. Sometimes it takes me a half an hour to do them, and sometimes it takes me an hour to do them. Today I only had one to do, and that is that. So, retired people, Gen Xers, with free time on your hands, what do you do with your spare time? I've been doing this now for 6 years, the boss reminded me now. This particular gaming job. I used to manage blackjack and all of that stuff. That was more full-time. I had a lot more paperwork to do, but I don't have that now. No, it's perfect. I love it. The trees have really come into bloom this week. We went from 50-some degrees up to 80. It was a 30 degree swing in a day. 24-hour period, and we're supposed to stay up here in the 70s and 80s for the next week or so. So all the trees are turning green. The grass got a little bit of a head start, but this is when it's fun to do this. You get around town. I picked up a lady last week from St. Louis, and she said, I love Fargo. I am never, ever going back to St. Louis. She said, I lived in a bad neighborhood, and there was crime every day. There were shootings every day. I absolutely love it here. And we sat and visited for a few minutes. It was fun. I love learning about other people doing the rides. Faced with every issue that every city has, just maybe on a smaller scale. But when you get out and you do these deliveries and you give people rides, there's definitely a different perspective that you see from people that can't afford a car to people that have $1 million houses. So this bank that I go through every day, or pretty much every day, somebody this last spring or fall, I'm gonna say fall, threw a rock in the window, at the window, and broke that window. Cracked it, spider webbed it. So that was shut down for a couple days. He threw a couple rocks, and they must have been fairly large because the window was broke pretty good. I gave, I think, 3 rides this morning before I went downtown, and I made 25 bucks. So the goal every day is to make $100, and I'm usually done. I can get done anywhere between 12 and 2 o'clock. If I go to 3 o'clock, it's usually because something really good came up on the screen and throws me over 100. But that means I still have a good portion of the day to, to do whatever. Morning. Here you go. They all know my name. If they don't, they ask me, are you Deb? And I say, yep. Thank you. Okay, now it's time to go drop off all the paperwork. It's 8:30 in the morning. I feel like I've been up for hours and hours already. If I didn't do Uber or Instacart, I wouldn't have a clue what was going on in this town. And I get all over. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I think I did, about the growth here. I seen a video that said Fargo was going to be the #1 growing town in 2025. And I believe it. I am driving by the apartment building that the lady set on fire. I really liked living there. It's on a busy road. And now I moved down the street. I moved out to a house for a couple years in a new development, a brand new house that little old me all by myself doesn't need. So I moved back over here into an apartment. So these kids are talking about online, I think TikTok, because some TikTok stuff gets on Facebook, shorts and stuff, how expensive rent is. And it's ridiculous here too. Not anywhere near what it is in these bigger cities. But, it's all relative, right? A 2 or 3 bedroom apartment in this town is around $1,500 to $1,800. So these kids, and the cheapest apartment, we're talking like an efficiency, they're $500-$600. That's like a one-room deal with, you know, no garage, or, and you know, you might be able to find one with a garage, but yeah, it's ridiculous. So they have roommates, or they're living with a significant other. I mean, it's even expensive for adults. So that's the other thing, as being a Gen Xer and being single. This extra money that I make from Instacart and Uber comes in handy. My apartment is an older building, well taken care of. Has a fireplace, 2 bedrooms, double garage, garden level. Did I say $840 a month? I have my own washer and dryer. That's another thing. So I got a pretty good price for it, and I'm comfortable there, and it's in the middle of everything, and you know, close to the grocery store. My son lives close by. Kids can afford it. They're doing Uber and Instacart too. It took me a couple months, and I was lucky to get that. I took it sight unseen. And then it's another thing, Gen Xers. These nursing homes, I've delivered groceries to all of them. For a while, I think I was the only one delivering to them. It was every single day. And my favorite are the little old ladies. But my girlfriend had put her dad in a home after COVID. And yeah, it's a nice one too, but not near as expensive as some of them. But she said all of them are just insanely ridiculous. We're talking, I don't know what they are in your bigger cities, but $3,000 a month. How does an older person that lives off Social Security ever afford that? Riddle me that. Do they end up on Medicaid or Medicare? Who ends up picking up the bill for that? And they're all full. And one of the saddest things I saw one day when I was doing Instacart is a elderly woman digging through the trash. I might have mentioned that to you too. So for 5 years, my boss works at Microsoft on the 3rd floor. He would come down and meet me to pick the paperwork up when we finally realized all he had to do was unlock his car door and leave me what he needed to leave me, and then I would leave my paperwork on his seat. And I was like, duh, why didn't we think of that sooner? Okay, let's get this done. Okay, we're all rigged up now. The complications of videoing are over the top. So, I am over in our sister city, Moorhead, on the other side of the river, which is in Minnesota. It's right next to downtown, so I picked someone up from downtown and dropped him off over here. It seems like when I get over here to Moorhead, they won't let me out of Moorhead. I'm up to $30. It's $9:30. See how easy it is? Each ride takes about 5 or 10 minutes, depending on lights. Instacart won't give you an order unless you're sitting in a parking lot. Unless there isn't very many shoppers out. There must be shoppers out today because I'm not getting a thing. I was done yesterday at noon because I got that $55 order. Well, I had already made $20 before I even went downtown. So I was at $75 at 9:30 in the morning. We got a grocery order. I'm gonna see if I can record. I don't know how I'm gonna fit it all on the cart. You'll love this because this is where I keep my Instacart cart. And my It is right now 1:30 and I'm at $99.90. And I have pretty much the whole day left, but I go to bed really early because I get tired. So if you're thinking about doing Instacart or Uber for some extra money, you can do it in your own time. You can quit when you want. Kind of fun to meet new people, see what's going on in your community, town, city, whatever you want to call it. It keeps you in touch when you're a recluse like I am. Makes you feel like you're in touch with what's going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the trip today. Anyways, I recommend it to anybody who's bored. Give it a try. You might like it. And that's what I think today.